Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast, where I, your host, Xavier Cruz, a lifelong wrestling fan, will take a lifelong friend through the action, the joys, and the drama of the world of professional wrestling. My co-host, Kelsey Silva, has been bitten by the wrestling bug, and I want to invite you to join us as I take her through the moments that made me a fan. So if you're new to wrestling and would like to get brought up to speed, or a fan who would like to relive some classic matches, promos, and segments through fresh eyes, join us as we embark on a journey through the Attitude Era and beyond. Welcome to the New to Wrestling podcast. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the February 3rd, 1997 edition of Monday Night Raw, and the match card is as follows. We had Vader taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin. We had Flash Funk taking on Savio Vega. We had a tag team championship match between Doug Furnas and Philip LaFawn taking on the champions Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. We had Crush versus Goldust. Mark Miro taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley for the Intercontinental Championship. And in the main event, the weirdest match that has ever occurred, we had Farooq and Mankind on a team taking on the Undertaker and Ahmed Johnson in a no disqualifications, no holds barred tag team match.
Situation. It was both the weirdest and best thing that's happened to me in quite a while.
Quite a minute, yeah.
In a minute, like it was super weird and yet delightful.
So this one was interesting. It was a I guess themed Raw. It was a Royal Rumble Raw, which I'm not gonna say again because I will just tongue tie I will get tongue tied over that every time. So
it was weird because they kept calling it the Royal Rumble Raw, and we were like, what does that mean? Like, are they doing another Royal Rumble match? Or are they just like playing it again? Like, we literally could not figure out what this even meant.
Right.
And then basically what it meant was they were just like playing highlights from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the whole
during the episode. And we're like, oh. But they were so adamant, it's the Royal Rumble Raw. It's the Royal Rumble Raw. And we were like,
right. It was very intense. I was just like, is it? Because they didn't just like explain what it was at the top of the show.
You had to figure it out.
We really had to just like jump in and just wait for somebody to like expressly state what it was.
And it's so funny because like they either over explain or they don't explain at all. There's no middle ground.
In between. No
in between. It's like either so OD it's laughable.
Right.
Or it's like, I literally have no idea what's happening.
Right. And you're just along for the ride, just flying by the seat of your pants. Absolutely.
Yep.
So the episode opened up with the conclusion of the Royal Rumble match, and all of the controversy that entailed around Stone Cold, Bret Hart, the controversial finish. And that was kind of like, we were like, oh, okay. Like at first we were just like, oh, they're just showing like a clip, kind of see where we're at. How we got to that the fatal four-way that we're barreling towards. Cool. Little did I know it was actually just part of the theme. Had no clue. I thought it was just and this is the first episode that we've switched to the 2-hour format of Raw, which was a surprise to us because I knew that it was going to happen.
We didn't know that, girl.
At some point, I just didn't know when they made the switch. And apparently it was February 3rd, 1997. So
oh my God. Also, sorry, I just smacked my mug against the mic. Sorry.
Oh, no. You're good.
So we were in for a treat today.
Yeah. We were like, oh, there's double the episode. Got it. Double the amount of episode. So in our opener, we have one half of that fatal four-way. Vader taking on Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this one just started out just super chaotically because Bret Hart just makes himself just known from the jump. Vader's already like in the ring, having done his entrance. He's growling at the audience or whatever Vader does, and then Stone Cold rather comes down, makes his way like to the ring. He like throws himself in, and then all of a sudden, just like right behind him is Bret the Hitman Hart, and they are in the Sky Dome in Toronto, Canada. So this is Bret Hart country. This is where he is beloved. He is a hero.
Like they're
can do no wrong in Canada.
Absolutely not.
So the crowd was going nuts. This is, par for the course. I think this is finally us seeing the culmination of what he's been saying for the last like month about there being like no laws in the WWF, and he's like, oh, like if that's how it's gonna be, like that's how it's gonna be. And like for the longest time we were like, okay, but like be about it then. And
Right. This
so
is so true.
I think this was the first time he was about it. That's for sure. Maybe it was
Yep.
because he was like in his home like country or whatever, but he
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 was
was
feeling the
like
vibes.
he's like we're not messing around no more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it gets wild. So Bret and Stone Cold are getting into it, and then Vader gets into it with Bret because he's a part of that fatal
You
four
know,
way also.
he saw
And
an
then
opportunity and he took it. I
oh,
can't judge
absolutely.
him
And
for that.
then like a slew of like referees and backstage people had to like come and separate Bret Hart like out of the ring. And so they finally like get him outside, and we think like, "Oh, okay, finally the match is like gonna start." Nope, just
Because also the
kidding.
bell hasn't rung, by the way. I
Not
don't think
not
it's even started, which
no.
is why there's no disqualification for Bret Hart coming out and
Coming
entering
in.
the
No,
ring.
the match hasn't
Yeah.
even begun.
Right.
So we think like Bret Hart's finally gonna make his way like out, you know. Finally, enough bodies have been put between him and Stone Cold. No, just kidding. Stone Cold comes flying over the pile of the pile of old men, and Jess is like, "I'm coming for your ass." Like I was just like, "Oh, here we go."
The best. Yeah. Just when you think it's over, Stone Cold's like, actually, I wasn't done.
Right. And then so like they finally like separate the two, and the match starts, and Stone Cold's just fully wrestling in his vest. Just fully
D-
for the first like 5 minutes, just cannot be bothered to take it off. Because he's already been fighting in it for like 10 minutes. So what
yeah. So
difference
he's
does
like,
it
eh,
make now?
whatever. Yeah.
So this match is obviously very physical. Like we're talking about like the gargantuan Vader and Stone Cold, who would rather like punch you in the face than shake your hand. So like it was
Yeah.
very physical. Uh there was a lot of I want to say like disrespect on the part of Stone Cold, because there's one point where he like backs Vader like into the corner and just spits on him. And I'm just like,
Like,
oh,
and I didn't even realize that was what happened. Like, I didn't know if he cursed at him or something. And then it
mhm.
like really sunk in what he had done. And I was like, oh, we're spitting on people.
Oh, no, we're
Okay.
fully just yeah, I was like, "That is not the man you wanna spit on. That is not."
No, no.
He
Like,
came out of that corner bat out of hell, just
a
swinging,
bull.
because Vader can punch. That man, like, you can see, like, even, like, during a match where they're clearly, like, it's professional wrestling, so they're, like, pulling the punches. It's
Yeah.
just look like he's so heavy-handed that it just looks like clobbering.
Yes. And like, I think it's so weird because Vader's obviously big, but he's not necessarily like super duper muscular. Like he's not like has like the huge like ropes of muscle, but it still looks heavier and meaner and just like more easeful for him to do it, which
Yeah,
makes it scarier to me. Cuz
right.
like, British Bulldog and or like whoever or Ahmed Johnson is like the huge like
Biceps,
bulbous
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
muscles or whatever, and then Vader just kind of like leans back and he's like, "Bah."
Oh,
But
no, no, no. 'Cause
it looks so much worse.
he's got the girth on him. He's just such a, like,
He's got
just
that backswing like,
no,
ugh, whew.
no, yeah, he's a brick wall. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, so the disrespect continues, because at one point, Vader is, like, going to like, getting set
Girl.
up to do the Vader bomb, and Stone Cold's like, "Nope, just kidding." He, like, shoves the referee outside of the ring and then just kicks Vader just straight in the nuts, just like like, after
Right
that,
in the nads.
oh, Vader was singing soprano. It was
Yee.
brutal. It was brutal. Uh,
Girl.
so it just this match was just like chaotic, chaos
So
from bell
chaotic.
to bell.
Yep.
So and then we get to another point in the match, not too long after the referee has already just been like thrown out, and then has to
Ru-
like drag his ass back in and be like, "Why
This
is
is so
Vader on the
crazy.
floor all of a sudden?" And so Vader goes to like whip Stone Cold into the corner, and the referee's just like, "Oop," sandwich, just absolutely just crushed. So the referee's down. He low blows Vader again because he's an absolute savage. And
Yep.
then Stone Cold, just being Stone Cold, stunners the ref, the poor ref.
Just the
absolute
ref. The innocent,
the mustached referee that we had.
Was it the mustache guy? Because I thought it was like the mustache guy was the replacement for this guy getting the Stone Cold Stunner. They were like, bring in another ref, and I thought another ref came out, and then it was Mustache Man who had the slowest 3 count I've ever seen in my whole life.
I thought Mustache Man started the match.
You could be right.
He was the referee that got knocked down.
And
and then he got and then once he got stunned, Earl does come down.
Earl comes,
but at that point, it is literally just to call the disqualification because everybody is
dead.
Saw. Yeah.
Okay. That's how chaotic this match was. It was so all over the place, and because the ref was also getting tossed a thunder, like so many things happened that was just like, again, like Earl just came down and was like, okay, yeah, this is a wash because like
this is a no-go. Like this is
and
clearly...
Stone Cold like flipped a double bird at one point. Like it's just they were like, you know what? I think we've all seen enough. Let's
move on. Let's put this to bed.
We'll save it for the Fatal 4-Way. So we all got a little preview. Let's sit with that. I think we can all digest. Thank you.
Amen. So they're giving us that little they're giving us like a preview of Thursday Raw live on Thursday. That one time that Raw was on a Thursday. And like so the only like fringe benefit of that ad being played so frequently was that it cut off the superfluous entrance of Flash Funk.
Honestly,
we caught the little tail end. He was in the ring, he was still like, jiving, and then we moved on, and it was perfect. Save that for the live audience.
Yeah,
save it for the
thanks.
live audience.
We don't need to see it. And also I was wondering because we had, well, I guess it couldn't have been because I don't recall seeing Funkettes, but I guess it's because we really missed like the whole
entrance. He might have sent them away by then.
Because I was gonna say, I wonder if it was like because there was a few matches, or maybe at least one match where like people weren't allowed to come ringside, which I thought was great.
It was just the one match.
The one. Okay, so I was like, I didn't see the Funkettes. Were they not allowed to be there? But they were probably just like scurried back to the locker room by the time we got there.
To like,
all right.
For some reason, I have this like visual that the Funkettes like. What am I thinking of? Just like go back to like a giant like bird's nest. I don't know why. like a big bird size like bird's nest. I don't know why. Like that's where they go to like rest and like recharge until they're summoned again. And then they like fly back down to their little entrance and then just fly back up to their proverbial bird's nest.
I'm literally crying because like of all the things, that was not what I was expecting. Like I thought like I even went like as far as like maybe Bounce House. Like I thought of literally like
no, but for some reason I'm just picturing them as just like maybe it's like what is it, like a pterodactyl? Like I don't know.
So much worse. Because like is Flash Funk the pterodactyl in this scenario? And he just comes and like roosts on them?
I guess. This podcast has flown off the rails. I'm so sorry.
You need to unpack this and figure out what this means because
Listen, I am not even going to begin to try and dissect the stream of consciousness that is just whatever is happening in here.
Yeah, actually, maybe take that thought little box, bury it back there.
Just put it deep down.
My god, I'll never get that image out of my head. And just like Flash Funk finishing and just being like, and like
just goes.
Why?
Off. I
literally can't even. Okay.
Don't try and bring logic into this. This is not. There's none of that.
Oh, that was so unexpected.
So Flash Funk and his pterodactyls.
I'm
I
Sorry.
don't know why we find this so funny.
Oh,
Okay.
'cause-
Ooh. So focus, regroup. We got this.
okay.
So Flash Funk is taking on Savio Vega, who is now a member of the Nation of Domination,
What a
which
turd.
they let us know by giving us his best like Neo impression by
Oh.
just they didn't change anything about his appearance other than putting him in a trench coat so that we know he's bad. Like, I
Ooh,
was
he's
just
so mean. Ooh, and
like,
sunglasses. Oh
no,
no.
100%. But the thing is, like, he's he's a Puerto Rican man. We
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily come in the like grandest of statures. You don't wear long coats. Like you don't just then put him in a long coat
It's
so that
upsetting.
his little feetsies can just
And he's
like
just like,
kick, yeah, like as if he's in like a booster seat, like just
oh, poor
um
Savio.
not poor
Especially
Savio.
because, well, yeah, no, I'm pretty mad at him. Let's be
Uh-huh.
real. But especially because everyone in the nation is so gigantic, except for like the
Hmm.
little gargoyles, but
Yes.
they don't count. But so like
Which
Farouk, Crush here, right?
they were not there this week, right? I didn't just imagine that they weren't there.
They like played the track with them on it. Like I heard their voices, but they definitely weren't doing the performing.
Thank God.
Because I was like, I
Yeah,
don't
like
see him.
where are they? All right. All right, pretty interesting. So as Savio is making his way to the ring, JR comes scurrying up behind, just like really trying to get that interview. So essentially
Mm-hmm.
he just wants to get word from Savio, like essentially he tells him that they had the match like in hand, like won, and then you turned on him. So like what do you have to like say about that? And essentially they're just like, I don't really care what you think. I don't really care. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Which I mean, it was not much more you can like expand on that one. He was just like, the
I
nation's
don't
gonna
care.
take over the WWF, and we're great. And you're like, all right.
Okay.
So yeah, there was a like a little bit where he was talking about like the Latin American people will be like proud of him, um, as a member of like the nation. And I was like, I don't know if you know like just a lot about like Hispanic like cultures. We'll just like support because you're from where we are. Like it's not like it's not that deep.
Don't gotta be all that. Yeah.
Like I was like, you don't gotta out here like really start your own little villain arc to try and get
We were
some.
already with you. That's
Yeah,
the
we were
sad
there.
thing.
Like
We were there.
we were Team Savio.
That's what I'm saying.
You out here just building these demons in your mind and acting a fool on it. So
That's what I'm saying. Don't bring
um
me into this.
Amen. I like one of my notes is literally just trench coat Savio.
Trenchcoat savvy. I mean, I
So good.
I really was hoping for like a new outfit reveal that like matched.
Something. No, but it was still that like bright red. And I was like, wait, I thought it was gonna be like in tandem with like Farouk's fit. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like I
like
thought it was gonna be like a little moment.
especially with the trench. I thought it was gonna be a trench coat reveal. Like I was ready. I was ready
No.
for like the and it was like black. Because even if they just like
Did the
kept
same fit, just
but
black.
different color or like just black and gray or like just black. Like you didn't even have to go crazy, but like
Right. Give me something. Like you can't
something.
have him like fully do
Turn to
like
the
a
dark side.
and then have him come out like with looking like a push pin. Like you can't. Like
A push
it's not
pin.
believable. It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
So this
I
match
need
was
more costume changes.
like they need to like concur with like what's happening with the plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
because they've got the music thing down. I feel like now, like we, because and obviously the visuals are great, the fireworks, the la la la. But I need more like costume changes and like things like that. Because like
right.
he came down to the Nation of Domination music. So like,
Yeah.
because obviously he's in the nation, so it's like we've changed the music, we've changed the vibes. Like we need
We've
to
changed the
change the
entrance fit.
costume.
Like let's change the like the wrestling
The
attire. Let's go.
yes, fully.
This match was a little clumsy. I don't
Yeah,
know
totally.
if like they just didn't have like great chemistry together, or if it was like the first time they were really like in the ring together, but it was just like you could tell there was a lot of like near misses or just kind of like getting transitioning in between like segments of the match felt like kind of clumsy.
Yeah.
There's like one point where Flash does like a somersault like power bomb, or like he's trying to, and he like barely like latches on to like Savio as he like takes him over, and it's just like it looked like he like more like tripped him than like performed a move on him. Like it was just like a
Yeah.
little like clunky. Um
Yeah, it was almost like he was doing all these Flash Funk was doing all these like crazy acrobatic stunts and Savio just kept like accidentally getting in the way. Like he was
right.
like,
Like it
"Oh,
didn't feel
sorry."
like intentional.
Right. Like it didn't feel like I'm doing this to you. It was like I'm
Right.
trying to do this and you're in the way.
Amen. So there's one point where Flash ends up like jumping off the top rope, like starts taking out some nation members,
Mhm.
because that's what you have to do at this point, because they're like cockroaches. There's just so
Yeah,
many of them.
seriously.
And then he goes back in the ring to perform his like the moonsault that he does.
Mhm.
And he just straight misses. He took too
Mrs.
much
Girl.
time dealing with the nation members. Savio was like, "Nah, I'm good." Moved out of the way. Flash face plants into the ring, and then Savio just picks up the victory from there. Which kind of makes sense. This, if you're gonna like do like a turn, you want to start like building him up as like, just something that's like believable. Like why would do we care if he's like on this team now, if he's not going to be like a winner or isn't better
Right.
because of it.
Right, right,
Um
right.
so he had his little celebratory moment with the
Mhm.
nation on the ramp. They're, doing the little fist bumps, like, sure. We're
Whatever,
gonna
girl.
more to come on Savio and the nation.
Yeah. I will say there was one move that Flash Funk did off the top rope and like he literally landed like dead on and he like spun. Remember he like
Oh, it
jumped
was
and
the
like spun and like landed
Oh
right
yeah,
on
so
it was so
Flash goes to
crazy.
do like essentially like a frog splash, but he kind of does like a little bit of like a variation on it. Whereas normally when people do it, they like jump off the top rope and just kind of land like this onto their opponent, just like the side that they jump from is the side
Like
that they land
facing.
on. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like
Um
facing the opposite corner.
yeah, but he does a little like he jumps, does like a 180 and then lands on them from the opposite direction. So just a little, like an even more impressive feat, really, because it's so difficult to like
Yeah.
one like change the direction of your entire body like mid-air.
Yeah.
Like so that's
And he
he's
was like
insane.
dead on. Like
Oh,
it was like
it was
bloop. It was
perfect.
like
It was
Tetris, like row
uh,
cleared. So
row
good.
row cleared.
Row
Amen.
cleared.
So after that match, we get a interview with the former world champion Psycho Sid, with Jim Ross, and boy, boy, was it.
Boy, oh boy, was it. It wasn't hit or be hit.
But it was a Psycho Sid interview, that's for sure. There was it was just very, once again, very convoluted, very full of just weird metaphors that didn't really connect, no matter how hard he tried.
Which is the problem, I think. I realized this speech because first of all, I just wrote Psycho Sid speech, like in quotes, because I was like, I can't possibly qualify it as that. But I was like, I feel like he goes for the metaphor, but then like panics that it's not landing and then over explains the metaphor.
Right.
And then it like just gets more confusing because it's like I was kind of there and now I'm really not there. Because at one point he was like, when the ride finally, because so he had made a roller coaster reference in the beginning talking about his relationship with Shawn Michaels. And it was so funny. Xavier was like, what are they like banging or something? But
Oh, literally, because he was like, it's up, it's
it's
down, it's
down,
like
it's
this whole
up
like physically, emotionally.
emotionally.
I was
So
like, why is this man so like enthralled in your being? Like it's so weird.
emotional turmoil. But he's like, so he makes a roller coaster reference in the beginning, and then he like tries to wrap up the speech by being like, and when this ride comes to an end, the roller coaster going up and down and up and down and then coming to an end. Like he almost
Yeah,
like
I was like,
and I was like, you didn't have to do it. I was there.
I
I
was
didn't
like,
like
we all were at the end.
we were there. But he
And
like
it was weird. It was a weird
it was weird.
speech, because it just like he refers to his friendship with Shawn Michaels as like a friendship on the edge of madness. And then he was talking about the the WWE championship and just basically being like, like it brings out like the evil in people was like the gist. But the way he like said it was like evil is evil, but sometimes evil can be mistaken for happiness. And I
Which
was like, what? Um,
evil mistaken for happiness.
I was like, when?
Like you could say like evil being mistaken for doing the right thing. Like if you like you know what I'm saying? Like there was
Yes.
something there that he just like couldn't get to.
No,
Like
you know what it feel like? It feels like this man is just like in the middle of like a highway and he needs to hotwire his car and he just can't like make the connections that
the
he needs
spark.
to like actually turn the engine over. So then just
Guys, don't
like
ask no, don't ask us how we know how to do that. It's fine.
uh yeah, don't ask. My dad taught me. So um don't like it's just like he just can never make like the connection, so like inevitably like he's just gonna get run over by a car that is just logic and like reasoning and just like anything that like if you've ever had a conversation with a human person ever would be able to poke holes in most of his promos. Like they're
I
just so
know.
convoluted, like they're just unnecessarily complicated for somebody who is not that graceful in speech.
And that's the thing, like, I think that's also it is like he just can be like a like he's so big. He could be like a Vader or an Undertaker where you don't say much.
No.
Just say Gur big strong. Like I don't know. Like
So,
just
at this
keep
point.
it chill. Like I feel like he's doing just way too much, way
Mhm.
beyond his capacity. And I mean that in the nice way possible. Just like,
Right, I know. I agree
yeah,
because every time it
so
just like
bad.
doesn't land well, or like it
Mm-mm.
starts off okay and then like he just takes it like off the rails, and you're like, I just want you to do like at this point, I'm just rooting for you to like just get through one and just
I
like
swear.
from point A to point B, I have got the message that you were trying to get, and I wasn't confused at all. Like that's all I want.
Yeah.
That's how low my bar is. Like,
I'm I feel like the teacher who's like has that like one kid that like you know it's in there, but
right,
you like you
can't
can't like
unlock.
really like you can only like lead them to the path, but you can't like do their work for them and you're like, come on, like just one
Ugh.
good grade and I'll pass you, buddy.
No,
Like
just give me something. Just a
something.
sign that you can do it.
Oh,
Uh,
what a sin.
so not us, just like,
Just unpacked Psycho's his whole life.
fully. It's
Why
so
we're
easy
here.
for us to sit here from our throne of
Our ego throne. Like, I don't even know.
it's fine. I love to make fun of the things I love equally as much as I like to enjoy the things I love. Uh
Absolutely. That's
it's
how you
like
know that I actually love and care about it.
that's what I'm saying. The same applies to like friendships. Like if I'm not bullying you, like we're not friends.
That
Like,
if I'm like super nice to you 24/7, girl,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
are you
you know,
sure?
that's not real. So, after that little train wreck, we get a backstage interview with the tag team champions. And boy, oh boy. So, this one, Vince is the one conducting the interview, and he is just stirring the pot. He goes, he's just like, so, do you remember the Royal Rumble, Bulldog? Do you remember when your tag team partner standing right next to you eliminated you from the Royal Rumble? Hmm.
You don't? Let's play the clip. Play it. It's
Fully.
just
And then like he's just like, what? Like you're just like, wow, you're really doing something there, Vince. You're
wow. He
uh,
really just said like, so like, do you guys want to talk about how you might secretly hate each other?
no, fully. He fully Andy Cohen that. Like
Swear
he
to
Real
God.
Housewife reunioned the hell out of that interview. He was really just like, so
Remember when you said that he was a piece of garbage? Yeah,
right.
let play the clip. Yeah, let's talk about
100%. And
it.
then
Did
he's
you
like, oh,
mean
like,
that?
and then they were like, oh, you can hear Owen calling you something. Like, what was that? Or
Hmm.
like, you called him an idiot. And then like, so then of course, naturally, like they start rehashing this argument that's probably already been had between the two of them. And
Hmm.
like, Owen's just like, nah, like, don't call me an idiot. Blah blah. Blah. Like, it was an accident. And like, obviously. It was not because we saw the footage. So then they start like
Yeah.
getting into it, and then like they just kind of like leave the interview like with them just like arguing with each other.
And they're
So
like about to have a match, like
no, fully.
immediately.
And then we find out that they are the following match. So the following match is the tag team championship match with Doug Furnas and Philip LaFawn, and then the two tag team champions. We find out that it's who has the Furnace has the flu, which is
Yeah,
crazy. Poor
so
guy.
sad.
Um,
Meemaw and I had the flu. I was literally at death's door.
that's what I'm
Like I
saying.
was like playing Danny Boy. Like it was over for me, girl. And
Yeah,
then they're out here wrestling.
no, like, and he was in there a long time.
A
He was in there a
long
long
time.
time. So LOL. I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know, like we take notes while we're watching the show, and like
Yeah,
sometimes like things happen so
silly.
quickly that like the things I like write down are just like 2 words. It just says Bulldog's haircut.
Well,
I was
that's
like the
all you
bulldog.
need to say because it was.
It, it was a vast improvement over the slicked back greaser look that he was like, you can't be like that many pounds of meat and then just like give me like a greaser haircut. Like that's like a distinctly like a scrawny, tall
Totally.
kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. The only person who can do it is the Undertaker. But because
Amen.
his is like long, it goes with the character.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, no, no, no,
So
no, no.
this match was, of course, another technical classic. This is not the first time we've seen these two teams
Ugh,
interact, and every time it's been A1. It's been
love
just
to see it.
amazing.
Hmm.
So this match we had Doc on like commentary, and he was living his best life because
Best
like he
life.
finally like I don't know, like they finally like graduated him to the table. Like JR was busy doing backstage interviews. Like Jerry must have had the night off. I don't know, but like they brought up the B team today, and Doc was living for it because he was just so excited about
Time
everything.
of his life, dude. Time of his life. Like when he was calling moves, he would do like there was one point where he would say like that's a whatever spinning heel kick, and then the technical term is like whatever. And then he would say
Right.
like the technical term for it, and we'd be like, a doc out here with the notes. He was
No,
like,
oh,
I am
fully.
ready to sit
He
here.
said, I've cited all my sources. Thank you very much.
The bibliography
But
is
he is not
present.
immune to being a man in the
Oh my
90s.
god, he really let us down.
Yeah, no,
Really.
fully. We were like here for, we're like, okay, go off, Doc. Like, yeah,
Come on,
literally out
doc,
loud.
big
We're like,
day.
and then they made mention of the Intercontinental Championship match, and that Sable and Hunter Hearst Helmsley's bodyguard, butler, valet, he's your everyman, would be like banned from ringside. And Doc goes, Sable can guard my body any day. And I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I was
I mean, as far as disturbing comments go, not the worst we've heard, for
not the
sure.
worst. Not the
But
worst.
I literally wrote, Doc, why? Et tu, Brute?
And that's enough on that. So these men are out of pocket, but we knew this.
Yep.
So there's at one point in the match when they are isolating Furnace from like the majority of the match. I mean, makes sense. He's the one with the illness. So they're like tagging in and out, them being the British Bulldog and Owen Hart. And there's one point where Owen has Furnace like by the hair, or LaFawn by the hair, whoever's sick. And he's trying to get the Bulldog's attention to get a tag, and the Bulldog is fully just like having a like a bodybuilding competition like at ringside, and he's just like flexing for the crowd. He's out here just like showing those like double guns, like just pointing. You're like, what is
What are
going
you
on? Like,
doing?
and you know, because at one point he literally like looked at Owen and then just like, went back to posing, and you're just like, oh my god, what is happening?
Girl,
So obviously Owen is pissed.
as
So
he
then
should be.
they start yelling at each other, like it just getting in each other's faces, and we go, oh, here it goes. This is gonna be it.
This is it.
Yeah. So this match, it just ends up like more chaotically. So the match like kind of like clunkily continues after they're like yelling at each other.
Okay, so it goes to commercial. Like
Right,
they're mid fight. Like they both get in the ring. They're screaming in each other's faces, and Vince is like, "All right, stay here. We'll be right back." And when we come back, they're like the match is just like proceeded as normal. We have
right,
no idea the resolution, what happened. So we're just like, "Oh, okay." So then we're just like back in it
right, 100%.
somehow.
So there is a one point where Owen gets like pinned, but his foot is on the bottom rope. So the bell like does go off, thinking like the match is like over, and
New
then the referee has to like
champions.
reverse the decision because he realized that Owen's foot was on the rope. So the match like continues, and it looks like the Bulldog and Owen are gonna perform like a double team move. But the Bulldog launches Owen to the outside of the ring where he apparently like hurt his knee. So that forces Owen to get counted out, which means that Doug Furness and Philip LaFawn win the match but don't win the titles. So I think they're just gonna drag it out a little bit more until they like actually come to blows, and then they'll like end up dropping the title. Uh
Yeah.
at least is
Can't wait to see it.
my kind of like estimation on that one, because the Bulldog's been
Yeah.
decked by Owen Slammy like twice already. And they have been having miscommunications for the last like month or so.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a long time coming. So
Yeah.
I think once they actually start like getting into it, then the titles are going to be off of their hands. And
Yeah.
until Owen can't like cheat his way out of retaining, I think I think they'll hold on to it. But it's just gonna be, I think they have to like drag it out a little bit more to give us the payoff at the end. Like to really
Yeah.
be like, I want them to fight. I need a little more. I need a little
Yeah, I agree, especially because they did, like Psycho Sid said, like it's just a roller coaster. It was up, it was down. But like it was very back and forth for a minute because then
right.
like after the Royal Rumble where it was like, this whole thing where Owen definitely threw him out of the ring, but like claims it was an accident, whatever. They came back like Monday Night Raw and they were like, yeah, no, we're fine. Like no big deal. So it was
NBD.
like it was weird. Like the emotional whiplash is crazy. But
I
so
know,
yeah,
but
I
also
definitely
like they
agree.
are family. So I
True.
guess
True, 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 true.
like if anybody is going to teach the lesson on emotional whiplash, it will be your family. So
Amen. Oh, so true. So,
so
so, so true.
facts. So after that match, we get a backstage interview with Ahmed Johnson,
This
and
was so good.
boy, so
Woo!
basically they run down the recap of the last couple weeks, essentially, where Ahmed Johnson has been chasing down members of the nation, either like busting into their like dressing room, chasing them out of the arena, throwing one of them in the back seat of a car, throwing one of them like through through in like an announce table so that his soul left his body. Just and basically they were just like, so can you comment on like that thus far, and like what's like to come for the nation? And essentially he was just like, oh, if you thought any of that was bad, you haven't seen anything. You have seen nothing yet.
So
um
scary. He was scary.
he was
He was like,
very scary, and oh, he was mean mugging the whole time.
"Ugh."
And then it just took like a wild turn,
Odd
because
turn.
he's telling us like, oh, it's like you haven't seen anything yet, and he's like, I'm off my Prozac, and you don't want to see me when I'm off my Prozac. And we were just like, wait.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Okay, sure, let's okay.
whoa.
Like,
Like, um,
what a weird thing to just throw in there. Like, what a,
so
you
because
know
it's
what I
also
mean?
like Prozac isn't. It's okay. Like it's
What,
not
I don't even
for
know
like
what.
anti-anger. Like it's not for like satiating the beast with it. Well, I guess for some people maybe, but like it's not like a tranquilizer. Like I don't.
Right.
It was kind of like random. Like
Yeah, and very much like just like yeah, very random, and just very like it's just like a week, like quite a statement to just like throw in somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's quite a thing to just be like, "Oh, I'm not taking my like drugs anymore." And you're like, "Shouldn't you be though?"
yeah,
Like
like
what?
are you
I was
okay?
like, "What does that have to do with Farooq?"
No, literally, it's like,
like
is that like, are you asking for help? Like, you're not on your pros. Is there like, do we need to talk? Safe space. Like, I was like, this doesn't fit in here, but I feel like you felt like you had to say it. So, like, what
right.
does this mean? Like,
Right. And then he is asked about Savio Vega, and the gist is just like, oh, you fall in line with them, you're gonna fall with the rest of them. Like, sorry. Um, he's like essentially like, don't worry, he's gonna get his. So Ahmed Johnson's just he's making a list, he's checking it twice. Apparently they're all naughty, so like it
Not
doesn't
even
matter.
him, I guess.
So they do kind of like make mention to him that like Crush is on the way to the ring. So he's like, "Oh, like Crush is on the way to the ring. Like, oh, the party's just starting." And then suddenly the Undertaker like comes into frame, just like grabs Ahmed Johnson by the neck and
Mm.
is like just like goozles him. Ahmed Johnson like knocks his hand like out of off of his neck, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be like much deader if you put your hands on me again." And he was just like, "Go now, and you go alone." He's like, if you wait, we'll bury them together." And it just
And then he just Undertaker grabs the camera and just like throws it down.
yeah, just like
But
brings the
they
camera
were
down to the like floor.
I cannot express that I've never been more turned on in my life. Like like
No, I get it.
they were
It like
this close to each other, like
mm-hmm.
breathing in each other's air, like
Right. Oh,
so close.
fully.
And he just the
The choke.
go now,
Mm-hmm.
go alone, but wait, and we'll bury them together, and then just tosses the camera. I was like,
So doesn't that sound? It sounds like a line like from like a romance movie.
I
Like
said Bonnie and Clyde vibes.
very much
Seriously,
so. Yeah,
like
I was
just
very impressed.
like they again this close, and when he threw that camera away, I was like, they better kiss. They better
They
kiss
better
right now.
kiss.
He better move. He better move that camera so they can kiss. I
Ooh,
don't know. It. Thank God they played it again. Like so that happened, and Xavier and I were like, oh my God, what just happened?
reeling,
Holy.
absolutely
And then
reeling.
later they were like, let's watch that interview again. And I was like, yes.
Perfect. Yeah,
Sick.
no, they did go back to it later. You were like, oh, I get to
So
relive it
sick.
again.
Thank God. I'm probably gonna relive it again later, but that's my business.
I love you. Uh So Crush is already in the ring and he is getting ready to take on the gold one, Gold Dust with Marlena.
Hey
So
girl.
yeah, I mean, this one just seems a little bit random, but I get it. Like
Yeah.
we have 2 hours, we're featuring more talent. Let's just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So Crush cannot escape the jailbird chance,
Mm-mm.
as the crowd really at various points throughout the match, like starts up that chant, and
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much.
I'm a big fan.
I I love how much he hates it, I think,
Yeah. That's what makes it satisfying.
honestly. So this match it's pretty decent. It's a very different side to like Gold Dust, I think, than we're used to. Because
Mm-hmm.
it is a very he wrestled a much more like technical wrestling match than I think we see normally from him. I feel like he is a very good technical wrestler, but he likes to like mix it up. Whereas I feel like because he was facing such a like large, just like brute kind of guy, that like he's a thinking man's like wrestler, like
Yes.
so like I think he knew that he wasn't gonna win that like punch for punch kind of fight with Crush, like wasn't gonna happen, so he went
Yeah.
the more like technical like route, which is it's just a good story in the ring, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it plays out well, just because Crush is gonna do the stomp stomp slam thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so to like combat that in a way that's like just like it just makes sense for his character to be able to be like so adaptable, because like look at him, he's a weird one.
Right.
He gets off on making like other people have to adapt to him. So
Totally.
I think it's kind of not a strength that's, I guess, highlighted a lot with him, but he's also very adaptable.
I was gonna say, I feel like he is such an adaptable wrestler. Like, you never know what you're gonna get with him, but in such a subtle way. And I feel like you can even see it in this match by the way he didn't like showboat as much.
Mm-hmm.
Like there wasn't any like the tongue or
Or
the
gyrating or
like
like
there
the
it was
body
like
touching. Yeah.
it was work. Like he was just working like to bring down Crush. Like it was very much it felt very focused
Mm-hmm.
and thinking or like thoughtful. Like I don't know, it was very interesting.
Right.
And I felt like even Marlena was more, and not that she's ever like she's not like a
She's
Sable,
not
she's
a
not like invading,
boisterous
whatever,
kind
but
of
she was
person.
even
Yeah.
to me, she was even more subtle
Right.
in this, except, at the one part. But like I just felt like I don't know, I agree with you. It felt more like calculating,
Mm-hmm. Just a
simple but
very different
effective.
match for Goldust.
Yeah, yeah.
But so we continue the kind of Hunter Hearst Helmsley like storyline in this match when he comes down to ringside to kind of just to be a distraction, just to kind of like be enough of a nuisance that it allows Crush to kind of sneak up on Goldust. And then he kind of like makes his way out, back up the ramp. He knows
Yeah.
he's got a match coming. He's not trying to do all of that, but he's too much of a rat not to do a little bit. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so he comes down, kind of just like hovers around Marlena, just
Mm-hmm.
just so that Goldust gets his antennas up. Crush takes advantage, and then at one point, the referee is dealing with one of the members of the nation on the apron, which allows Savio Vega and his trench coat to come in and do a spinning heel kick to the back of Goldust's head, which allows Crush to do the heart punch and gives him the victory.
I
So
just say I'm so it's the spinning heel kick that really wounds me because the amount of times I praise Salvio Vega for his spinning
mhm.
heel kick
I,
because
I
it is
mean, it's still
truly a thing of
amazing.
beauty.
Yeah.
I know it's so annoying because it's so good and I'm so mad at him. And you did this to me on purpose because
Savio,
it's
you
gorgeous.
abandoned our girl, left her to who are we rooting for now?
I'm
Jesus.
it's
Uh
fine, but like whatever.
Amen. So dramatic.
Yeah.
So after that, we get a kind of like a quick little promo that is the Blackjacks will ride again. So the Blackjacks are a tag team primarily from like the 80s, late 80s, I feel like. Um and like early 90s. They were just very much in the same vein as kind of like Justin Hawk Bradshaw, just cowboys is generally the gist. And I'm pretty sure that Justin Hawk Bradshaw will be in the new iteration of the Blackjacks. I think. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that
sure
that is exciting.
because I think
That
that
is
that
exciting.
makes like the most sense. I don't remember who his tag team partner is going to be.
Because that guy was like a coach who
So
did the
he was a
promo?
former wrestler. Like
Right,
he
and he's
was a
gonna
member of the original tag team,
okay,
the
okay.
the Blackjacks. I think he's gonna act as like the kind of like mentor manager role
Hot.
of the two.
Oh,
So
that's exciting because we haven't seen Justin Hawk Bradshaw in a long time.
in a
If this
minute,
is the
yeah.
rebrand girl, ooh, I'll be psyched for that. I'm
Hmm.
ready.
So more to come on that. We'll see. And we need more tag teams. We've been saying this for a while now.
It's
We need more
so
tag
true.
teams.
So
And
true.
we have I peeked ahead at next week to see kind of just like what we're looking at. And we have another tag team debuting next week, and I'm so excited because you're going to love them. You're gonna love them.
Really?
They are so everything about them is just so like punk and 90s. It's amazing.
Ooh, okay, great. Because I love when you say that because I know you wouldn't like
Lead
BS
you
me.
astray. No, 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 no,
Yes, like you wouldn't be like you're gonna love them if there was any shadow of a doubt that I would. So
no, no,
that's
no, no. Yeah.
exciting.
Very exciting stuff. We are like the pacing of like exciting people is like picking up. So that's all really cool because there's a lot of like um just this time period I've kind of looked at like the episodes that are like coming up. And we're gonna see like the advent of some really fun stuff soon. Just based on like the episode descriptions that I've been like reading, trying not to
Oh,
get too
that's so
I
exciting.
know it's very, very exciting. So after that little promo, we get a interview with our current World Wrestling Federation champion, Shawn Michaels. So he comes out looking like $1 million
Mm,
today. He came out with just like that little like I don't even know what that is. Like
I
it's not sequins. They're like
some sort of shiny, like I don't even know. It's like a material, like I don't want to say like a plexiglass, but it's like some sort of
something very
material that's
reflective.
shiny, reflective. It's like
But
really
it's
amazing.
perfect. But it's a crop top
I love
because
it.
it's perfect because then the title belt just sits snugly in that like space and you're just like ah, and he looks amazing. His hair's like down, he's got the beard going on, he's got the long earrings. I can't. Shawn
Gorgeous.
Michaels in 1997 was top tier. That
Top
man.
tier. I mean, you just can't beat it. And like it was crazy because obviously he's in Bret Hart's home territory. So
Right.
everyone is like booing. Well, not
It was
everybody.
a
There
pretty
was
mixed bag, yeah.
mixed bag, but like he is just like he is who he is. And you just even if you hate him, like you can't help but like really admire him, which like I definitely don't hate him, but I'm just saying like he
Hmm.
has that energy where it's like, oh, like he's just so amazing, like
It's
from
like
top to bottom.
you like he's such a like polarizing like person for
Mm,
people, but it's like regardless of how you like feel, like you have to respect it. Like there is no
duh.
like he's too good from like bell to bell or like in a promo. Like he's too good at too many aspects of professional wrestling to not respect it. Like
Period.
like people don't like him because of who he is in a lot of ways and like he will be the first one to tell you that during this time, he was an asshole. He was
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of drugs and he was, he was in his like late 20s, single, gallivanting all over the world. Like he will be the first to tell you that he was a dick during this time
Mm-hmm.
period. So people really like had solid reasons for not liking him. Uh,
Yeah.
but he's too good. Like
So
he's
good.
you know what I mean? Like you just kind of like look away at his like other things, which is not right, by the way.
No,
I'm
no.
not excusing it.
Yeah.
But he's just too good. Like you can't not have some kind of admiration for it.
Yes, and I do come from a very privileged perspective where I literally know nothing about what
Mhm.
is going on behind the scenes. Like
Yeah.
because I also don't really look anything up at this time because I don't want as I want to avoid spoilers as best as I can.
Right.
But because you know me, I'd be deep diving on the internet, girl. But I like so I don't know really any of that drama at this
Mhm.
point. So
Right.
I just see him for what he is, like from
Right.
bell to bell. That's it. Which
Mhm.
is an exalted place to be,
Oh, it's
surely.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal.
Hmm.
But speaking of kind of going into like the backstage like drama or whatever, we are going let's make a let's announce it now.
Okay,
So
okay.
so guys, we are going to be launching next week the New to Wrestling podcast After Dark, where we are going to be kind of reviewing episodes of The Dark Side of the Ring. Is kind of where we're going to start I think with this series. um Kelsey, if you don't know, is a big she loves the tea. She loves celebrity tea. She loves like
It's my biggest vice. It really is.
yeah. So I think to kind of bring our two like worlds together, we're gonna kind of deep dive into the tea of professional wrestling because it is wild.
I just
It
know I'm gonna eat it up because I
there,
know it's crazy.
oh, it's absolutely insane.
I
So
know
at
it's heinous.
first, we're gonna go through. We're not gonna go in like sequential order like we do on this show. I'm gonna go through and curate some of the episodes that we watch first, just as to not give away things that are going to be in the near future of what we're watching. Um, but I think it's gonna be a fun show. I think the two of us tend to really gravitate towards things like this
Absolutely.
and can absolutely how do I want to phrase it we'll be able to talk about it for quite a while.
Oh yeah, we'll be able to dig it up. Well, the thing I love about like us and even just like any of our friends is like we love to beat a dead horse. Like we will
Oh,
talk something to death, resurrect it, talk it back to death again. And I love
100%.
that. Like we love to clam dig in the tea. Like
Oh,
I just love
absolutely.
it.
So, just something to look forward to. So the New to Wrestling podcast After Dark will be premiering next week. So just something to check out.
So
Something
exciting.
in case you weren't tired of us with your once a week installment. Now you're gonna get us twice.
Yeah, you know. It's gonna be
So
good.
something to look forward to, guys. So back to this interview, because this one's wild.
Mm-hmm.
So basically they ask him about to respond to Psycho Sid's promo, which Vince McMahon essentially had to like recap for us to be like, oh, like this was the gist. Like he's like, so
Because
essentially, what do you have to say about like Sid saying that the championship brings out like the worst in people? And like in my head, I was like, that's what he was trying to say. I was like, "Oh my god." Okay, sure.
I didn't get that, but
You know it's
okay.
bad when someone 3 segments later has to clarify it so that somebody else can do their job.
So
So,
sad.
so essentially he goes, "If you had asked me like 6 months to a year ago, I would have said that this belt like represents everything good about this place." Uh he's like, "However, today I'll tell you that Sid is right. It absolutely brings out like the worst in people." And he's like, "I've said it before." He's like, "I'll say it again. Like, if I have to be bad to keep this, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the worst." Because there's nothing more important than that title to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Crazy.
yeah, so then they ask him to respond to some of the things that like Bret Hart has been saying about him. And essentially he goes on to just be like, uh, he's like, "Oh, like the people of Toronto, like if they want to root for Bret, like that's more power to you. That's your prerogative." He's like, "I've won, Mr. Popular enough times that I don't care about being popular. I care about being the best, being
Mm-hmm.
number one." So he's like, if that's what Bret Hart like needs, he can have it. So he's like, because when you have this, people hate you. So
Yep.
it doesn't matter that I'm here in his like backyard, like I have this and everybody wants it. So
Yep.
you're gonna feel some type of way about that regardless.
Yep.
And then he goes to Bret Hart. He's like, you can call yourself like the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, if that's like really what you're trying to do. But he's like, but what you can't call yourself, at least right now, is the WWF champion. And
Girl.
enough to that was enough to prompt Bret Hart to come down to the ring, and they start having like a confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
He comes down, Bret Hart holding nothing back. I'd like
Wow.
you to make note of the fact that Bret Hart calls Shawn Michaels a degenerate. Hold on to that.
Okay.
It will come back later.
Okay.
Everyone at home, you say nothing. You say absolutely
Oh my
nothing. Hold
God.
on.
Now I'm
We're
scared.
we're having we're having me and you. Kelsey's not here. You tell her where this is going, and we will fight. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, I want her to be surprised of what's coming.
Oh my
Um,
God.
it's gonna be great. This I will give you like a little hint. This is like when we finally see like we're getting like the little tidbits of like Shawn Michaels unhinged. We're gonna get Shawn Michaels unhinged uh soon. So just take note.
Soon.
So just take note. Bret Hart calls him a
A
degenerate.
degenerate.
It's gonna come up again.
I got it. Oh my
But
God. Now I'm scared.
he's essentially reading just Shawn for like filth.
Clinical.
He calls him a degenerate. He's like, oh, you just want to like come out here and act like a jackass. He's like, you're nothing but a punk. Like just reading him to
A
filth.
read.
And there's one point where like Brett goes, oh, like you can stop me like at any point, and like Shawn like grabs the mic. He's like, I'll stop you right now, then, because he's just so petty.
So
So
good.
he goes to like start like responding, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes
Here he
running
comes.
back because we know this. We know this is about Stone
He
Cold.
loves it.
He doesn't. I was gonna say he doesn't get mad. He gets even. No, he gets mad and then gets even.
He
So
does all
like,
of it. Yeah.
no,
Mad,
yeah.
even, odds, all of them.
So he comes down to the ring and starts like attacking Brett, and Shawn's just like, that's what kind of what you get.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, he literally just like hands the mic back to Vince and is like, okay,
Yeah, like
guess we're done.
yeah, I guess we're done here. So then Psycho Sid comes out to ringside, like, and just starts yelling at Shawn, which was kind of like random because then they then cut to like a commercial, and then
Again.
Sid is gone. Uh, and then it's
And Stone
just
Cold is gone,
and
I
Stone Cold are
think.
gone, and it's just Brett and Shawn just like yelling at each other like in the ring, and like JR makes like a comment about like he's like we're supposed to be getting ready for the like Intercontinental Championship, and like we're just waiting for these two to like leave the ring, which makes me believe that this tail end was not
Scripted.
necessarily scripted,
Because it was
because
Big T, girl.
they're like getting into it. They're like yelling at each other at one point. So then Shawn like lays the belt between the two of them, and it's just like, obviously talking his ish. Um, they're going back and forth, and then Shawn goes up like to like grab the title, and Bret Hart puts his foot on it. And you're like, oh, and then Shawn's like, okay. So then he starts taking off his little crappy top. He throws it like on the side. He's like, oh, we're gonna go.
We're gonna
Literally, it's
tussle.
like hold my hoops, hold my baby, like
Yep,
we're gonna
yep.
go.
Here we go. Here we
Um,
go.
so we think like they're like gonna finally like get into it, and they're just mouthing off in each other's face.
Yeah,
And
because
then
Brett's picked up the belt.
yeah, Brett's picked up
He
the
just
belt.
picked it
He's
up. He's
like,
holding on to it.
he's holding on to it, and then he like goes to like hand it back to Shawn, and Shawn goes to like grab it, and then he just like just drops it at his feet, just like, you ain't shit. It was essentially the vibe.
My
Uh
heart was pounding. It was so crazy.
it
Just the way it just went like out of his fingers, and you're just like, oopsie.
Right.
Pick it
And
up,
it's
filth.
and I love it. I love it because like Brett, even like with Stone Cold, there's still like a level of like professional respect that Bret Hart gives.
Mm-hmm.
With Shawn, none.
Mm-mm.
Like, it is so far past like them being like cordial to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's palpable now.
You feel it. It's like a
Hmm.
like crackling in the air.
Uh yeah,
So
it's amazing.
insane.
So amazing. I this is probably like one of my favorite feuds, probably like ever, is Bret Hart Shawn Michaels.
I
Probably
mean,
like up there.
I
Uh
get it.
yeah. So, or at least especially like during this time period, it's just like there's
Oh
just
yeah.
so much there, and there's so many layers, and then
Yeah.
there's a dark side of the ring that we will watch after.
I
um
can't wait.
oh, it's so good. But that'll be probably towards the end of this year,
Okay.
because we have to get all the way to November.
Okay. And we're in January right now?
Hmm.
Okay. God damn it.
It's okay, there's gonna be a lot in between now and
Yeah,
then,
there's
to
plenty of
keep us
material.
satiated. um So after that standoff, we get a kind of like little recap situation of the signing of Tiger Ali Singh. I don't know who he is, but they're making a big deal about signing him. So apparently he's like buddies with Bret Hart. Like Bret Hart was like at the signing. They like
Mm-hmm.
embraced after.
I guess he
Um
was a fellow Canadian.
yeah, sure. They're gonna take. He said something about
Sure.
like taking the Canadian flag to like new heights or whatever. I was sure. I don't know. I don't know. It just like, don't show me the signing of somebody I don't know. Just like, just debut him and like have him wrestle, so I can have
Yeah.
any kind of like an idea if I'm supposed to be like excited, because right now it's just indifferent.
Yeah. And like again, like Rocky Maivia made sense. Like he's a third generation wrestler. Like people were excited about him. They knew the family he was coming from. Like that makes sense to preview him a little. Like
Yeah,
that makes
but apparently
sense.
this guy is also like, he's a second generation wrestler, but I didn't
Oh.
know his father either, so
Oh, that's right. They did say that. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Sorry, sir. That's my
So,
bad.
sorry, Tiger. Um,
Sorry.
so we'll see. Hopefully something comes of him. I don't really remember much of him. Like, I don't remember hearing of him really ever, or like I cannot remember any kind of like significant moment that he is like necessarily a part of. So I don't know if it's gonna amount to much, but we'll see what he does in the short term. Uh, so our next match is a Intercontinental Championship match. Mark Miro is taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, with the managers banned. So Sable is banned because she got involved in a Mark Miro match where she like kicked the Undertaker in like the ribs, and you're just
Girl.
like, you haven't participated in that capacity at all. You have just been content to just like stand on the outside, like screaming, banging on the ring, just various levels of damsel in distress, and you
Mm-hmm.
decide that like you want to jump in on the Undertaker? Are you crazy?
Roundhouse kick Undertaker in the ribs.
That's when you decide to like
Today's the
jump in?
day.
Really? Like, okay.
Well,
Bold choice.
in the red
Bold.
patent leather catsuit.
I mean, it must have been the suit, honestly.
Gave
What
her
else?
power. Yeah, it gave her
What
that confidence. She
Yeah, I
was
was
like,
like,
"Yeah,
what
I can
else?
kick the Undertaker in the ribs. What of it?" And then she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Oh.
that was bad.
Yeah,
That was bad."
literally. Like, cause like there's just the look on his face, which is like, you're joking.
He
Like,
literally like flipped his hair back and was like, "Uh,
hmm
that
that's
that
not
was
gonna
not
fly,
wise.
girly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't wise
I
of
was
you."
like, it was like that what is it, that like, meme or whatever? It's like, it was like, in that moment she knew.
Knew she messed up. Yeah.
So it was announced during this match that Ahmed Johnson will be getting a Intercontinental Championship title shot against the winner of this match. So Ahmed Johnson, if we harken back to the early days of this podcast, was injured while he was the Intercontinental Champion and was forced to relinquish the championship. So the
Mm-hmm.
man never lost the title. So he very much so has a claim to getting a shot at it. And it's nice that they didn't like just forget that,
Yeah, I
and
love
are
it.
like bringing him kind of back into the fold, which is nice.
Absolutely love to see it.
Amen. So Mark Miro is flying all over the place. He's like doing somersault planchas. He's doing like super hurricane ranas from like the top rope. He's diving every which way. Great.
Mm-hmm. All over.
Yeah. So Hunter is, hanging for the most part. But you can kind of tell like the man relies on, you know, cheating to win, or having somebody else cheat for him to win.
Right.
So you're seeing kind of like, it's very much like, how does he win a match on his own? We haven't really seen it ever. And we
Yeah.
didn't see it today. That's not the today did not change anything, because at one point during the match, he pulls brass knuckles from his boot, bops Mark Miro right in the face with it, knocking him unconscious, essentially, covers him for the pin and giving him the victory, thus retaining the title. Thoughts?
I'd be so frustrated by this. I literally wrote, like, you can probably see it. I just wrote, I can't, underlined
Oh
it.
my God, you did.
Triple H wins again. Here's what's frustrating about this is that I get it to the point, like, okay, Triple H is the guy right now in this character. He, like you said, this is how he wins by like scheming, cheating, blah, blah, blah. But like, it's frustrating because whatever feelings you might have about Mark Miro, like, he is a good wrestler. Like, he's
Mhm.
literally doing like backflips and shooting star presses and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Right.
and just actually wrestling.
Mhm.
And Triple H is like taking the buckle pad off. Though, okay, I will say this. Here is where Mark Miro really flopped. Is so Triple H takes the pad off the buckle, and for some reason Mark Miro picks it up and gives it to the ref and goes, "Here, can you put that back on?"
Right.
And so then the ref is distracted, and that's
Mhm.
when Triple H pulls out the knuckles. It's like, why would you get in your own way like that? He'd already avoided being knocked into the open, like, steel ring, like,
Stop playing
twice.
hero. Stop playing hero.
Stop! And I was like, you literally got in your own way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you do like whatever? But it is for me, it's like it's frustrating because like Triple H just always wins in that like
And the most
yes, and that like way that just makes you mad. And like Mark Miro is like flying here, there, around the square. He's like doing all these reversals and pinning predicaments and all of this stuff, and then like he just like gets hit with brass knuckles. Like it just kind of sucks. Like
it's
it
so
just kind of
deflating.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm with you on that one. But Triple H is gonna get another bodyguard change soon. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
This one's gonna be kind of the one that sticks. I
Okay.
think since the original plan was to have him with Mr. Perfect, they've just kind of been like rotating like
Somebody.
through, just trying to see
Anybody.
like what fits.
Mm-hmm.
But his next one is the one that's gonna kind of stick around for like a long time.
Heard. I am excited for him to fight Ahmed Johnson.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that's
I
gonna be delightful.
That match is gonna be amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, if I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how where Ahmed is in the nation feud at this point, because
Right.
they don't want to see that man win for nothing.
Oh God, seriously.
So we are finally at the main event. We had the Undertaker and Ahmed Johnson taking on Farooq and Mankind
So
in a
on.
no holds barred tag team match,
Weird
which
and
was
yet hot.
weird, just so weird. Weird combos all around. Both
Mm-hmm.
sides of the coin, we were like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
um this whole match was chaos, as we knew it was going to be. There's no tags, there's no rules, there's no countouts, there's no disqualifications. All weapons are legal. It's
Mm-hmm.
nuts. The Undertaker pairs off with Mankind, just continuing wherever they have left off. Ahmed
Mm-hmm.
Johnson goes right after Farooq. They're feuding. Undertaker and Mankind take it outside. He beats like Mankind all the way up the aisle. He then like jumps into the ring at like saves Ahmed Johnson from getting choked out in a sleeper hold, because like the way that Ahmed Johnson was like about to be out, the way his neck was just like absolutely contorted.
So
Um
bad.
so there's like no teamwork as far
None.
no, it is just
None.
four individuals that are technically on teams. uh,
The only times they worked together is when one was in danger of getting the team out. Like,
right.
so when Undertaker saved Ahmed Johnson, it was mostly like, will you get up? Like,
Right, no,
we're like,
fully. He's
it
like,
wasn't like, oh, got you, buddy. It was like, okay, like, don't do
no,
that
literally,
again.
right. Like, you're getting in the way of my bag, and we're gonna have a problem.
Like, can't do that. Thanks.
So Ahmed Johnson is, like, of course, just like chasing down members of the nation, like around the
But
ring.
like single-handedly annihilating them though.
Oh
Like they
well.
had him like pinned at one, like they were holding his arms and Crush was like going to town on him, and somehow he like broke free of that, and I missed it because I think then they flashed like Undertaker and Mankind,
Mm-hmm.
because like Undertaker's like throwing Mankind in the steel stairs. I don't even know. But like then he's literally just decking every single
Mm-hmm.
member of the nation. Like
Amen.
just a man, his fists, and a dream of revenge at every single one of them. Like bah, bah. This is
um,
great.
yeah,
A
absolutely,
lovely sight to behold because he literally
absolutely
chases them
spectacular.
out of the
Arena,
arena.
like, just gets rid of most of them.
Bye,
Um,
girl.
and then the weapons start arriving. Mankind is the first to attempt. He grabs a steel chair and is kind of like jauntily running towards the Undertaker in the corner.
The
And the
windup was too long. Like
no,
he was just
n-
like he was
no,
powering up.
yeah, and the ramp was too short, and so he starts like running full speed at the Undertaker in the corner, and the Undertaker just puts his big ass foot up and he just knocks that chair right into Mankind's face. I was like, yep, that's exactly how that was gonna go down.
Yep.
Ahmed Johnson grabs the 2x4 once again and is just swinging on Farooq for all that it is worth.
It's
He
amazing.
then chases Farouk just outside of the arena. Just he's like, okay, you got that one. I'm gonna take this one. We're
Yeah,
good.
bad girl. Yeah. At one point before that, like the match was so chaotic, Clarence Mason just left. They're like,
He's just
"Oh,
like, I
Clarence
can't do
Mason is
this.
leaving." He was
Right.
like, "I bye." Like
See you
he's just like,
later.
whatever.
Yeah, and they did make a good point that like it's a little weird that he is managing both Owen and the British Bulldog and the Nation.
Yes. This I'm so glad you brought this up because one, he hasn't been like out to one of their matches. He was not out at their match today.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of miscommunication. And JR was like, this is poor management. Like, no one is managing them because Clarence Mason obviously has a conflict of interest. Like, he has really immersed himself in the Nation.
Right.
And so he's not paying attention to this tag team that is literally hanging on by a thread.
Right.
Which is
And
crazy because they were literally like top tier when he swindled them out from under
right.
Jim.
Right.
So like that's your bad, dude. Like you really flopped with
You're not
that.
paying attention is
Yeah.
that.
You're
And
acquiring Nation members like Pokemon cards, and you need to be worried about your boy over here.
right, because you about to lose like your biggest paycheck. Like
Swear to God.
I was like, you get more money when you have the gold. So
Girl, it's a
uh,
mess.
it's a mess. So Mankind looks like he's going to kind of run over to the Undertaker at one point during the match and like throw like powder in his face or something, but the Undertaker's like, nah, and like just chucks it back up into Mankind's face. He's just ooh, excuse me. He's just covered in powder, like flailing everywhere. And then Vader, because apparently now Vader and Mankind are a team.
Our
Like just
besties.
are just
Out the
a
blue.
team from now on, apparently. He comes out and starts attacking the Undertaker because they've already got beef. And the Undertaker's having none of that. Vader goes and like tries to hold the Undertaker, very similar to what happened earlier in the tag team championship match. He's trying to like hold on to the Undertaker, and the Undertaker moves at the last second, and Vader ends up hitting Mankind because obviously,
Yeah. Was
which
that a
allow
receipt? Do you think?
what
Do we think that was like a little bit of a receipt
for which
for Mankind hitting Vader in the face with a chair?
probably.
Right? Like, because
I
they like
mean,
really like Mankind like really hit him, and then like the vice versa, like they really hit each other.
probably,
It
and
seemed like a
I
yeah.
mean,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sure. I wonder if it was like an agreed upon thing where he was just like, "You're getting yours today," and I feel like Mankind McFoley is crazy enough to just be like, "Okay."
It
Um,
totally, totally.
so this allows the Undertaker to perform just a brutal tombstone pile driver onto the chair, just skull, chair, mat, and it was amazing, pinning
Gorgeous.
Mankind, giving him the victory. Finally, the Undertaker comes out with a victory, even with all of the chaos.
I'm so happy.
So
I'm
vindicated.
so happy. I'm so happy because I needed to see Ahmed Johnson chase Farouk with a 2x4 out of
Mm-hmm.
the arena. I needed to see Undertaker smash Mankind's face into a steel chair and be the one who wins the match. Like
Right.
for my soul,
No,
for
you
my
really, really
soul.
did. Because he's been getting done dirty.
Dirty. And like I know that he's like an Undertaker, but like not like dirty like that.
Mm,
But I thought though of what you said, it's like how sometimes like if all of the matches like aren't going well for like the people you want them to go well for, usually the last match is where they'll like give it to you.
oh,
So I
yeah.
felt confident because like Doug Furness and Philip LaFon win, but not the title, and like Mark Miro like got with the cheating, like so many things like happen like that,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, I feel like this is the one.
Right. Because for
I
the
feel like
most
this is the
part,
one.
the bad guy won almost every match.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I think
yeah.
it was great because to give like Undertaker so much credit, he kept Ahmed Johnson focused on like the true,
The
like he
task
like the
at hand.
task. Like he was like, you can't get involved in the petty ringside squabbles when it's not even your match. Like we have to focus. We'll go out there together and we'll
Right.
bury them. And they did.
Amazing.
Who
Amazing.
knew? Who knew?
Well,
Tag team of dreams. I
I
love
love
it.
Well, the Undertaker is like highly regarded, this is just like a backstage thing. He's like, they call them like locker room like leaders. He's like just somebody that everyone just like unanimously just like respects. They
Mm.
used to do this thing apparently called like wrestler court, where they would like go on like trial for like offenses between wrestlers.
Oh my God.
And the Undertaker being like so respected was like the judge. Like he was like the deciding like factor. Um
I
like
love
in the
that.
sort of things. And they like talk about it like some, for the most part it's just like, joke things that happened, or like someone took a joke too far or whatever. But he's kind of uh that like air of like authority, or like that air of like the respect that you get is just like it's everywhere. It's not just like on camera or like what, like people, he is such a like a high caliber like person, that people just were like, oh okay, like he has integrity like to the bone, like so
Mm,
like people just respected him outright.
I love that.
So he was very much so like the buck stops here. Like
I love that.
stop being an idiot, stop doing like whatever. He's like, it's more important to give the people what they want out there. um yeah, no, and
I love that guy. Just
he's very much a like, he'll do anything that's asked of him. He was very like,
he was literally buried alive.
him and Vince have a incredible relationship, just because the Undertaker, even through when like the WF was like down bad, which is really like the part that we're watching, like, or that we started watching, like 1996 was like they were in their like lull, before they like pick back up again and start becoming like super successful. Um but he relied on the Undertaker so much for all, like, to get them through all of those times, and the
Yeah,
Undertaker was such a staple for Vince for 30 years, that they have like such a like today like an outstanding like relationship. Like the Undertaker like wrestled like with like a broken like orbital bone. Like he just wore a mask. Like he's crazy. He There's like a match that comes up in like 1998 that he wrestled the entire thing. It's a Hell in a Cell match with a broken foot. Like his foot is broken and proceeds to go out and like have a match.
oh my God.
Isn't that? Yeah. He's just he's the G.
I just love him so. I love him so much.
There's only more to love.
And it's crazy because
We got a lot of
before
Undertaker career.
I know, and it's crazy because before I was really watching wrestling, like Undertaker's just like the wrestler, like without a
Mm-hmm.
doubt. And I was like, oh, like cool, like he seems like a cool guy, whatever. And then you watch and you're like, I so get it. I
I so get it.
so get it. Like why people are so obsessed with him, why they revere him so much, while he's just like the name you associate with wrestling most of the time. Like if you were to walk out on the street and I feel like ask someone like name a wrestler from the WWE, they
Yeah,
would probably say The Undertaker.
it's like Hulk Hogan,
Yep.
Stone
Ric
Cold,
Flair.
The Rock, Ric Flair, and like The Undertaker.
Yeah,
Like they like are ones like they just transcend. Like they are now like pop culture. They're no longer just uh
absolutely.
like just part of this wrestling like world. They're bigger than the wrestling world. Um so hold on, before I get like into the ending, we what is today? The 22nd when we're recording. So this is gonna go up on Thursday, the 23, 4, 5th, 5,
Maybe.
25.
I'm like,
I don't know.
the 25th.
Yes, I was right. Okay, so this is going to come out on Thursday, the 25th. So that means that if you are listening to this on that day, you will have 3 days to vote for us for the best wrestling podcast in the best wrestling podcast category via the Sports Podcast Awards. So
Yay.
3 days left. Again, we appreciate everything that you guys have done for us thus far,
Mm-hmm.
watching, listening, engaging, commenting, whatever. It all helps.
Yeah.
And yeah, just want to say we appreciate it. And this has been another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. We will catch you next week.
We will see you there.
Bye.
Bye.